What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leads, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. It goes a long way for me in this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods, Arizona. They start in just under an hour. That is what everybody's looking forward to. Lindy's Locks update, which is actually going to play a big part into the analysis for today's video. And I don't mean to do this intentionally. It's just that there are certain lines that should be up right now. And the fact that they're not up right now is really, really tilting. They're in spots where there aren't even necessarily games going on here at this given time, in this given moment. Two teams that I don't even know why. What are we doing? I know the trade deadline's coming up in a week. You got it coming up August 1st. It's on the horizon. A week from now, we're going to be going nuts, having a lot of fun on that Monday slate. That's for sure. But again, what are we doing here, books? Give me some help here. Help me help you. Help me help you. I'm going to help you. That's literally what I'm here for. Check out BetMGM. We'll talk about them a little bit later. That offer is down in the video description box below. It's awesome. You also get 2 free months of Discord access to moi, talking you through all of the baseball slates, all the ins and outs of everything. I'm in there a lot. Sunday to Friday. Saturday, it's a day of rest, a day of golf. Sometimes those aren't the same things, but only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But 15 games, yep, full slate on Tuesday, full slate on Wednesday, before a little bit of a respite Thursday. Only 4 games on Thursday, pretty wild stuff. Producer Jacob's not excited about that. He wishes it was 15 games as well, right, Producer Jacob? Don't answer that. We're going to get ourselves right to the picks. Producer Jacob, I've said your name 3 times in a row now. Let's get to the picks. Let's dive in. First game on the board, we have the Angels, we have the Tigers. Of course, it's Shohei Ohtani watch at all given times, at all given moments. And the Angels have been playing some pretty decent baseball. They better continue to, or Shohei Ohtani could be on the way out. Is it safe to say this might be the most important, ridiculous series for Angels fans and for an organization in a long time? Think about it. If they somehow find a way to sweep Detroit, they have a pretty decent spot coming up the next couple series. I know that they go to New York. I think they have a tough one against Toronto, slam dunk in the middle of that one. So time will tell. Time will tell. Just saying, if you find a way to be competitive here, you still have a winning baseball team, 51-49 on the season. If you can run it up to 54-49, 57-50, there's a chance you keep Shohei Ohtani. Mike Trout comes back in just over a month. You run into a situation where you can go get some pieces anyway. None of that applies to today. And, well, I just thought I'd give you the express version of how I feel this trade breakdown should look, because I really have nothing from this game. It doesn't look appealing to me at all. On one side, you have Griffin Canning, who's a young arm that I think is okay. Eduardo Rodriguez, I don't know if you're going to just unleash him fully here. He is one of the assets you have to get rid of. If you're Detroit and you hold on to Erod here at the deadline, you're out of your damn mind. You just have to get rid of him here. So I think he is one guy with a week left that you might have some pitch count concerns for. And that's where I think this number gets a little bit wonky to me, because -125, I would think it would be around -130, -135 on the Detroit side. So some might call that value. But I'm concerned enough that Erod might not get your 9,500 that you're really looking for. And coming off of the IL, I doubt he gets to that kind of a number anyway. And he's really, really good. A 34.1% hard hit percentage, 26.8% K rate, and a 5.5% walk rate. This is the best he has looked for the Tigers, and probably the best he's looked in multiple years, even with the Red Sox back when BABIP and luck was not on his side. As for Griffin Canning on the other side, does have a 45.7% hard hit percentage, just a 24.8%. Well, that's above average, 24.8%. But the whole thing is that he does get the better matchup here facing Detroit. All in all, if I had to do anything, I would take the shot on the Los Angeles Angels money line side, purely because Erod, maybe he doesn't get as long of a leash as what you might want there for an elite pitcher, and that's what he's been when he's been healthy. A 2.69 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. He's been a little bit inconsistent after his 9 days that he had off, but facing Seattle, facing Kansas City, this is a better lineup than that, but only ever so slightly, and it's mainly just because Shohei Ohtani exists. So Angels money line, probably better spots on the board for us. Pass on the first game of the day. Baltimore, Philly, they're coming up here next. Philly. We got Kyle Gibson going on the mound up against one Taijuan Walker. And Taijuan Walker, this is your life. If you guys get that analogy, you can be my real ones. You can be my real ones. But I doubt many people understand that one. I don't know. Tickle the ivories. It's beautiful stuff. Bitches ain't shit. But Taijuan Walker, 4.11 ERA, 1.26 whip. Overall, he's been better than that over the course of the last couple months, but has had outings of 4 earned against Tampa, 4 earned against Milwaukee. We're starting to see some decent opportunities that offenses are having, mainly because the fly ball rate has started to creep back up. If he's throwing equal fly balls to ground balls here in spots like Milwaukee, you're going to have an opportunity to put ball on bat. You know what Baltimore does pretty well? They put the ball on the bat. And while Kyle Gibson isn't my favorite guy to be backing here, a 44.1% hard hit percentage, 267 expected batting average, and just a 19% K rate, he's finding ways to be successful. And we're looking at weather perhaps being in the middle of this game. It's hard for me to know that on Monday night coming into Tuesday, but does look like there's some cells around the ballpark. Maybe you turn it over to bullpen, which isn't the most exciting thing because I am looking at taking the plus money here with Baltimore. I think they're just undervalued over and over and over again. We ended up betting them in the premium Discord today. It's 2-1 heading to the bottom of the 8th. Hopefully they can hold on to it. Don't let me know how that happens. Actually, you will, because you all live in the future. Unless this game goes to like 15 extras, but that never happens anymore. Guys on second, what are we doing here? But Baltimore money line, definitely the spot I'm looking at. If they get up in games, Cano, Batista, good luck, everybody. Enjoy. Against the Phillies here also, Trey Turner got ejected. I think he'll be fine. There's no suspension. I have no idea what happened. He'll be fine. But Baltimore money line, that's where we want. Plus 124, good stuff. 2 really interesting pitchers on the mound for Miami, for Tampa Bay. We have Edward Cabrera and Tyler Glasnow going at it here. Battle of Florida. Producer Jacob wanted everybody to know that there were 5 series going on this week, in-state rivalries. I didn't grow up with a pro sports team in South Dakota. You think I know shit about in-state rivalries? That I'm going to notice that? Of course I'm not. Also, Florida's a big state. It's like California. You have 48 teams there, too. Texas, it's a big-ass state, too. San Anton, Charles Barkley knows. But, hey, let's talk a little baseball, shall we? Cabrera, over the course of this, and win healthy, has been downright decent. 1.38 whip isn't great. 4.50 ERA isn't that in a bag of potato chips. But the main thing for me, he's been awesome. He's been getting very unlucky. He has a 202 expected batting average, a 307 xWOBA, 29% K rate. That is so beautiful. But the big bugaboo, the 14.2% walk rate, that is what comes back to bite you. That's why the whip is up there in the stratosphere in a place it shouldn't be for a pitcher of his quality. Oh yeah, and Tampa Bay, even though they've been struggling, still the second best offense in baseball, 118 WRC plus against right-handed pitching this season. But on the other side of this one is where we really know our dude exists. Tyler Glasnow. I love him, I love him, I love him. He's so good. 3.62 ERA, 1.19 whip. Of course, the strikeout stuff is absurd. 35% K rate. Does have that 49.2% hard hit percentage. Gets a little bit creepy there, but Tropicana, I know Tampa Bay's been out of their minds. Get out of your minds. Just saying, it's still a pitcher's park. Tropicana is still a pitcher's ballpark. So Edward Cabrera, Tyler Glasnow, I get the offenses have regressed a little bit here. Well, especially on the Tampa Bay side coming off of that Baltimore series. Who's your daddy? But Tampa Bay, I don't expect to be as offensively efficient as they've been through the first half of the season. And I also expect that guys like Tyler Glasnow are going to start limiting the hard contact, and it is so hard to make contact with the baseball for a dude with a 4-seamer curve combination. Oh, and the slider is just ridiculous. So there you go. Glasnow, one of my favorite arms in baseball. Think we're going to be leaning on the under of 7.5. Don't think we can possibly get there here at this kind of a play because I'm just scared. Scared of being a nobody, but happy I'll get you over here. Just give him the kissy kiss, smoochy smooch. I wanna kiss you all over and over and again. Dun dun dun. Till the night closes in. Nothing to bet here under 7.5 if you have to. Colorado and Washington, everybody's excited for this one. All 14 people who will be in attendance. Austin Gomber going up against Trevor Williams. And you know by now, I don't like either of them. But I also don't like when you run into 9 as your key number in a lot of situations. And then you're looking at it possibly getting bet up by the time you hear this. There's already 9.5s on the board in some spots. But also those are not all that appealing. Getting that half run isn't a huge deal from 9 to 9.5. I hope you can figure out why. Tied game 4-4 has to go to 9, so you're getting your break even there. But 5-4, again, it just sucks. Both these pitchers are terrible, though. Trevor Williams, 476 expected slugging, 523 expected slugging on the other side for Austin Gomber. Gomber, lefty, going up against a team in the Nationals that does not strike out against lefties in any way, shape, or form, or anybody. Really against anybody. 18.8% K rate against both hands this season. Yeah, identical. Look, Ma, no hands. Or both hands. That sounds awkward. That sounds like being 15 again. But pretty positive. Pretty positive. Over 9. Not something I want on the card. Again, sorry. We'll get out of these leans and just move on because this game is just atrocious. The Subway Series. This is what I'm talking about. A baseball game where I have things that I want to bet. Now, we don't have the prop available, but just like yesterday, the CJ Cron with Colorado Moneyline. Colorado Moneyline ended up working out even though it didn't end up on the card. Mainly because I wanted CJ Cron. I wanted Chris Bryant. I'm going to be on the lookout. Well, actually, it's a completely different situation. Pete Alonso's just broken since getting hurt. It's been really, really sad to watch. Maybe don't be in the home run derby after you hurt your elbow and not everything's going, or your wrist. Sorry, your wrist. Because your wrist is on my list. Because your wrist, Again, sounds like being 15 again. Pretty positive. Justin Verlander, my friends. That is a dude who's starting to show us things. Now, he moved to New York with Kate Upton. I'm going to give him a break for a month and a half, 2 months. But over his last couple outings, yes, it's a little concerning to see stuff like 6 walks against the Dodgers. But it's the Dodgers. Other than that, he's blanked Milwaukee, San Francisco, and then against the White Sox, 8 innings, 1 homer that he gave up, 1 solo shot, 7 strikeouts. That was lovely stuff. Vintage Justin Verlander velocity, a little bit of a tick up. But overall, I think he's just got his command back. You know, Emperor's got his groove back. Even though that wasn't a very good Disney movie. Can we all agree Emperor's New Groove, not very good? Pretty overrated. Is it even rated? Nobody likes Emperor's New Groove. Right? You had Hercules. Nobody cares? Okay. Domingo Germán on the other side of this one. You know by now that I'm targeting him. 4.52 ERA, 1.08 whip. And yeah, did I one time say that he's not very good and that he threw a perfect game? Yeah, that's a thing that happened. You know what he did next game? 9 hits, 2 earned, got pretty lucky not to get completely shelled by Baltimore. Then he looked good against the Cubs, but then got shelled against the Angels, even with 9 strikeouts. So yes, the strikeout stuff can spike from time to time. If you want to take some shots in that regard, go ahead. Might even take a look at a K-prop myself with him. But against the Mets, there shouldn't be that many strikeouts available. 20.9% K rate against right-handed pitching for the season. That's 4th best in baseball at avoiding strikeouts, that is. 4th lowest number. I really like the Justin Verlander double here. This Yankees lineup is still, I think, no good without Aaron Judge. Yeah, you heard me. DJ LeMahieu regressed. You're now looking at Kyle Higashioka having to catch every single day because Jose Trevino going to be out for the rest of the season. That's a big loss because he was calling really good games for the Yankees over the course of the last year and a half. But Giancarlo Stanton, yeah, he can still hit it hard, hit it hard, hit it hard, hit it hard, hit it low, hit it low. But Justin Verlander, 7 Ks plus the New York Mets money line. I'm calling it a lean because I want to see the Verlander side, but I can guarantee you, if this stays inside of minus 125, I'll play it individually if I don't like the Verlander K line. And again, I'm going to just sit here and wait. We got 15 games on the slate, nothing that you need to force, but know that this is a spot I'm very, very interested in if we're getting plus money on the over of 6.5 Ks for Verlander. All right, my friends, rules are made to be broken, and if you've watched me for a long time, you know by now, I give leans likes locks, and leans are almost required whenever there's NAs on the side of your screen. Now, there's a couple of things going on here because you can see above me, Charlie Morton starting for the Braves. We have a TBD. Boston has not announced a starter, but here is what the word on the street is. Nick Pivetta could be re-entering the starting rotation after a 6-inning, 13-strikeout relief appearance against Oakland. I repeat, against Oakland. I hope Nick Pivetta ends up starting this game against the best offense in baseball over the course of the last 2 months, which are the Atlanta Braves. I am begging them to start Nick Pivetta, to throw him to the absolute wolves here, because if it is Nick Pivetta, he has a 45% hard hit percentage with a 14.3 degree average launch angle. He gives up crazy power to righties and lefties alike. And yes, does he have a 29.5% K rate that's now bolstered because of a lot of relief appearances? Yes. And anytime he's been lengthened out as a starter, he has ran into massive issues with power. And with great power comes great responsibility for me to bet it. That is the Atlanta Braves, my friends. Yes. Also, heard Spider-Man 4 might be a thing. That's the rumor on the street. Tobey Maguire coming back to the role. Can we get that? Kirsten Dunst? We got to do this. Spider-Man kissed that shit. Let's go. Run it back. But anyway, why am I breaking the rules here? Why are they breaking fourth dimensions and fifth dimensions and doing whatever else in the Marvel universe? I don't know, but this is just what I want to do, because Charlie Morton, friends, is good. Yes, there are some scary lefty bats in this Boston lineup. I bring it up all the time. I think they've definitely outperformed what we were expecting for Boston coming into the season. Rafael Devers, Tristan Casas, who ends up on my home run card a lot, Jarren Duran, just running around there like crazy. Even Justin Turner, you best start believing in ghost stories. You're in one. He's been awesome from the right side as well. You throw it all together, and what do you have? Well, you have a scary spot, but lefty power still plays down. It's more difficult in Fenway than you would expect with pesky pull out there to right field. Kind of one of the phenomenons of this ballpark. The big green monster thing, easier to hit over than you might expect when you break things down. And Charlie Morton, he's going to be really shut down to most of the righties in that lineup. There's going to be way more lefties with Yoshida Verdugo also having good seasons in the mix there. But way better pitcher than Nick Pivetta. You get an opportunity here for Atlanta with Acuna, Olsen, Murphy, Riley, Ozuna, Harris, d'Arnaud, if you want to go DHing him, Eddie Rosario, Ozzy Albies. I'm saying everybody on that side has power, has the ability to go yard on Nick Pivetta because he has been that bad as a starter at preventing power throughout his career. So friends, I have a projected line at minus 140 for Atlanta here. That's where I'm anticipating they open the line. I would be paying up to minus 165 on the Atlanta side if it's Pivetta as a starter, which sounds insane. But I'm expecting this number to be way below that. This would be my favorite play in a very long time in Atlanta. They got us back on track in the lock department after a terrible week last week. Friday coming through for a unit and a half for everybody on the video, on the premium Discord alike. Can we get a lot of home runs from Arizona today? But Atlanta money line, if Pivetta starts, is the requirement here. I'll see what the number is, and I will be updating you on Lindy's Locks Update over on my Twitter. Go follow me at Eric Lindquist. I will have a video up, probably another 25 minutes of me babbling about all the reasons that I think this play is awesome. All right, I just talked forever about that last game. I really don't want to talk about this one, so we're going to absolutely fly. Zach Greinke on one side, Aaron Savale. Would you in a million years want to back Cleveland minus 190 with Aaron Savale? Because I don't. And as good as he's been this season, 35.7% hard hit percentage, 373 expected slugging, he has a 19.2% K rate, which isn't going to avoid some of these lefties that I've been playing a lot. MJ Melendez. Now, you do have the righties that are better. Michael Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr., Sal Perez. But specifically, Michael Massey as well. Want to give him a shout out as that power is starting to show up from the left side. Really like what we're seeing from him, what you saw in Yankee Stadium. He's a guy who's routinely had some decent home run prop numbers. Wish I would have jumped on in Yankee Stadium because he started to pop in my model. I try to be a little bit more specific. Don't want to play everybody and their dog who's popping in the model, mainly because that would be stupid. That would not be smart unless it's Michael Massey and he goes yard twice in Yankee Stadium. Then you feel like an idiot. Yeah, that's me. But either way, I don't want to be backing this number. I think these are perfectly efficient. Kansas City's won like 25 games all year. I think they're going to win here on Monday, which is pretty wild. It's a pretty wild phenomenon. 8.5 is exactly where this total should be as well. I think this is just a pass. Move on with your day. do anything else other than bet on this baseball game, unless there's a prop that shows up. If there's an MJ Melendez, sweet Melendez, we can maybe get behind that. But Zach Greinke, he's awful too. 485 expected slugging, 289 expected batting average. I'm, of course, going to look at the Nailers, the Nailer Eye, the Josh Bells, the Jose Ramirez's of the world. I'll be paying attention to those props, but otherwise, I got nothing for you here unless this line moves in a prominent way and Kansas City ends up north of plus 200, which I do not expect to happen. Kansas City plus 1.5, just going to be the lean here for the time being. Get out of here. And we head back to a like. All right, here we go. We're starting to just, there's some wild stuff on this card, but I'm very excited about this card. And, well, this is a money line play that I thought about locking. It's George Kirby on one side going up against Pablo Lopez, the no doubt about it stud here for the Twins. Now, Byron Buxton got put on the paternity list. Byron Buxton had been pretty terrible until he decided to go double dong over the course of the weekend. So Byron Buxton, is his absence catastrophic at this point in time? I'm going to say no, even though I still truly believe him to be one of the most exciting players in baseball when healthy, which isn't always all the time. And then, well, this year's been atrocious. Stop swinging at absolute garbage. Stop allowing you got to swing at some first pitches. You just got to do it. Jump on a couple. Let's have some fun. Jump around. Woo. But anyway, we're going to jump on this line because George Kirby, I do find him to continue to be overrated. Shout out Elon University, though. Greg Ehrenberg over here on the Odd Shopper channel at Stochastic, my buddy, graduate of that fine university. And that's where George Kirby went. But overall, he hasn't been all that appealing to me compared to what I think the public perception of him is. He has an awesome command. A 2.3% walk rate is as dumb as it gets for a starter. But a 3.83 expected ERA, I think, is a little bit higher than you might anticipate for a guy with a 3.23 ERA. Throws a lot of junk pitches to try to get swings and misses. The sinker, slider, curveball, changeup, split finger. All of this secondary pitches to his 40% fastball usage. And overall, he's not going to get any swings and misses. I'm not all that. In fact, the highest whiff percentage he has on something, the split finger, he's only thrown 40 times period all season long. He throws it primarily to lefties to try to get a couple of extra swings and misses, but 2.3% usage, we're going to ignore that. Amongst his primary pitches, the highest whip percentage is actually on that fastball, and it's a good pitch. 440 expected slugging, 346 actual slugging, good at avoiding power, but a 251 expected batting average, that's a lot higher than the 218 batting average that he's seen. He's been getting by on a little bit of luck, in my opinion. Pablo Lopez needs no luck. 281 xWOBA, 30.2% K rate, way higher than the 21.7% on the other side. Gets the Seattle matchup, which I weirdly think is a little bit better, even though I thought they profiled decently well today in a little bit of a sneaky spot where you could maybe try to take some value. I ended up going to some Minnesota home runs to try to get off of Castillo. That's probably not going to work out, although they are up 2-1 here right now. You got a triple from Larnach. That was a sharp play by me in DFS, not betting like an absolute idiot. But friends, Minnesota money line is jumping through for me here. I'm going to pay attention to some bullpen usage when I get off this show. You should do the same here. Want to see, if our big boppers end up getting used up towards the end of this game. But I think this is an awesome spot here to be invested. Minnesota bullpen could be kind of tapped out with Duran, everything else. They pitched 2 days in a row. If it ends up being 3, in a close game here on Monday, it would devalue this one ever so slightly, but at minus 112, I almost don't care because Pablo Lopez over George Kirby is that big of a mismatch in my opinion. This guy is so excited to talk about MGM, and why? Well, it's just a lovely sports book, my friends. You want to be signed up at all these sports books that you possibly can, whether that's Caesars in the video description box below, Bet365 that's only available in a couple of states, but you absolutely need to be signed up there in the video description box below if you are not already. And why? Because more exposure to sports books gives you the opportunity to bet the best number every single game. Do you remember when you were buying N64 cartridges? It's the same game no matter whether it was new or used, okay? You would buy an N64, you go buy Mario Kart for $40, okay? Well, guess what? If it was going for $20, why wouldn't you just get the used one? And that's the thing. These aren't even differences that we have between BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel. It's all the same. It's all going to be taxed the exact same way on your winnings. You're going to have the exact same type situations. So Why don't you just get the best number every single day? It makes no sense to me that you would need the new cartridge of Mario Kart. Do you see what I'm saying, friends? I hope you do. Save yourself some money in the process with every single bet that you make throughout the season by shopping for the best line. It's why it's called Odd Shopper. But that's not all. We also get 2 free months of the OS Premium Discord when you sign up for BetMGM at that link below, as well as up to $1,000 back in bonus bets when you make your first wager. So whether it's 50, 100, 250, $499.99, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever is within your means. If you bet it at BetMGM and you win, you keep the money. If it loses, you get it back in bonus bets. Capiche? Great stuff from BetMGM. Sign up, get the best N64 cartridge for Mario Kart that you humanly possibly can. Let's go down Rainbow Road together, my friends. Woo. Only for 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, back to the picks. Let's talk the long ball. We haven't had one of those yet today. And, well, it's showing up here, my friends, with Kyle Hendricks on one side, Michael Kopech on the other. The Battle of Chicago. We're going to the south side of Chicago. How many music references can you put into one frickin' show? Well, my guitar gently weeps. That was just cheating. It was the first song that came to my mind. That doesn't count. Had no context. Just like it has no context for how good Kyle Hendricks has been at avoiding power. We're not looking at targeting White Sox bats. 31.6% hard hit percentage, 85.7 average mile per hour exit velocity off the bat. That is really, really low when you're talking starting pitchers in baseball. 16% K rate. It's a good thing he's avoiding hard contact, because if he was giving it up because you got to know. There was another one. Put it in the counter. Either way, Kyle Hendricks, not going to be somebody I'm going out of my way to target here, but don't exactly want to be backing the Cubs money line here in this spot either. Michael Kopech can definitely find some strikeouts from time to time. 25.3% K rate, 229 expected batting average, but you know who's been downright incredible this season and has just a 16.7% K rate over the course of this season? It's Cody Bellinger. What a resurgence he's had. And he has just a 31.2% hard hit percentage. But I think what goes underlooked is when he makes contact, it's going long, hard, and far. 108.2 mile per hour max exit velocity. It's a little bit above average. Not really anything. It's more median, if I'm being honest. But expected slugging, it started to get up there above 50%, which coming off his last couple seasons is shocking. A 385 WOBA, everything across the board looks good. And then when you're talking home runs, it's nice to see him lofting the ball in the air. 18.2 degree average launch angle on batted balls in play. So Cody Bellinger, give me better than plus 350 here on the south side. That is a play that I can get behind. So let's do it. Cody Bellinger to home run. Can't believe it's on the card, but it feels good. It feels right. Also, get him back to LA. That'd be cool. The Reds, the Brewers. We're running it back here. And how about this pitching matchup? You got Andrew Abbott on the mound for Cincinnati. On the bump for Milwaukee, the hero of the people, Corbin Burns. One of the few things that I got right last week. He's very good. Should have locked that one. Really wish I had locked that one. Either way, we're still going to find a way to back both of these guys here in this spot. Now, Andrew Abbott, the XFIP is a little bit higher than you might expect. That's something that I've broken down many times on Lindy's Locks update when we've talked about Andrew Abbott's spots because, well, they're a little bit tantalizing, a little bit terrifying, but there is no doubt about it. The strikeout stuff is sexy. Over the course of this season, 26.8% K rate for the Southpaw. Does have that 209 expected batting average to go with it, so can really do a good job of limiting just contact in general. But a 44.2% hard hit percentage with a 25.4 degree average launch angle. That is a wild high fly ball type number stuff. So I expect that XFIP to catch up to him a little bit at times, but hopefully not here against a Milwaukee team that we have been targeting routinely with lefties all season long. A 26.8% K rate, second highest mark, but 0.1% behind Colorado, but just an 87 WRC plus to go with it. That's the third worst mark in baseball against Southpaws. And then Corbin Burns is on the other side, and I've been saying for a while, he's back to being Corbin Burns. 341 expected slugging, 32.6% hard hit percentage, and as good as Cincinnati is individually with individual hitters in this lineup, there are still some strikeouts available. 23.3% K rate on the season against righties, just a 98 WRC plus, which is a little bit terrifying. Part of what is inflated is the fact that they play in Great American Small Park, and now going to Milwaukee is actually a park downgrade here for them. But yeah, I want the under here. This is just a flat out under 8. Weird to be getting this key number of 8 again, 4-4 tied up, whatever. For me, this is simply, I think both pitchers are too good to pass up in this spot. Let's invest in them both. 5 games left to get to. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as we get to a lean. Just a lean. Houston, Texas. We know JP France is going to be on the mound for Houston, and I don't remember the nursery around. I see France. I see John Gray's underpants. He's getting absolutely schlacked up in this first inning. That's not pretty stuff at all. But JP France, he's been good in the results department. 3.13 ERA, 1.24 whip. But I hope you know by now, I care about what you're going to do going forward. Now, with just a 17.1% K rate, a 255 expected batting average, and only a 23.4% whip percentage across all of his pitches, I'm not all that inspired against this Texas lineup. However, Texas's lineup doesn't look like it normally does without the likes of Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia in it at the moment. So pay attention. Pay attention to this lineup, how it ends up coming out. Obviously, that is one of the major things why they didn't have a lineup yesterday for a while, and they're not going to have a line out here for a little bit. And we got to kind of know who's going to pitch for Texas. I have no idea who it's going to be. I think it's going to end up being Cody Bradford based on the fact that he pitched on the 21st. He is a bullpen arm, strictly bullpen arm. You could look... I don't know who the long reliever is going to be. So we need some information. Boss, need the info. Throw me a freaking bone here. No, Scotty. Daddy loves you. Aw. Houston minus 1.5, just a lean. Next game. Oh, would you look at that? Another game where we know the starting pitchers, and we're still not going to get a line because I think maybe they want to know a Merrill Kelly pitch count. That's got to be what it is. It's got to be what it is. He had a rehab start. Merrill Kelly for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Steven Matz lining up here for the St. Louis side. Now, Arizona hasn't officially, I suppose, thrown out Merrill Kelly as the starter for this one, but he went to rookie level. He was in Arizona. Nice when you have your complex sitting right there and you can just go do your rehab assignment in 1,000,000-degree weather. But 75 pitches in that game. Good for him there. He's set up to start this off for the Diamondbacks against Steven Matz. And you should know by now that I love Merrill Kelly. I think he is Merrill. Very good. That was a Pokemon reference. We're going to run from that one. Let's talk Steven Matz instead, because Merrill Kelly, we don't expect him to go crazy far into this game, but you know by now that I definitely just like the arm. Anyway, Steven Matz, 261 expected batting average, 40% hard hit percentage, getting an Arizona lineup that they got some righty pop that can make him pay $50 every day. My mama told me that Christian Walker would be the one to go yards, so you are it, you dirty double dish rag. Out goes the baseball. It's not even funny. I'm really not funny today. I'm just dumb. Anyway, we talked through all of the ins and outs of Arizona's lineup on Lindy's Locks update. I hope you picked up on the devalued right on right for Adam Wainwright. Thought some of the righties actually had better numbers. And yes, Adam Wainwright has a major lefty problem for St. Louis. But in this spot against Steven Matz, the lefty, maybe we run into some Corbin Carroll, some Jake McCarthy, never. Pretty positive Alec Thomas, maybe in the 9 hole. We could get an opportunity there. Some different bats, some different opportunities to get some home run props out there in a ballpark that generally is not conducive for home run power. But Steven Matz, that 40% hard hit percentage combined with nearly a 10-degree average launch angle and the quality of these righties, we're going to be paying attention to Manuel Rivera, Evan Longoria with a pretty good launch angle as well, but specifically Christian Walker. Christian Walker, this is your life. Yet another Walker on today's show. Gotta let me know if you know what that's from. Clear-cut spot, yet no line. They hate me today. It's going to happen more as we get closer to the deadline, and then it'll start to absolve itself, and then we're going to get all of those AAA guys playing for teams that are completely out of competition, and it's going to be a whole shit show all over again. Who's excited? I am. Anyway, 2 southpaws expected on the mound. Rich Hill for Pittsburgh. Might not be with Pittsburgh for very long, although I don't really know what his place would be with another team. Do you want a 100-year-old arm with no velocity? Can he be effective for an inning at a time? Maybe. Maybe he could just be a lefty innings eater for a good team, but like that one guy. Again, he doesn't have any utility for a contender, I don't think. It's sad. I like him as a person. Blake Snell has utility, 2.67 ERA, 1.28 whip. After a tough beginning of the season where we targeted him nonstop, somehow avoided all of the landmines, and well, until the Toronto start, we ended up having 4 Ks and 7 walks. That was so tilting. Getting absolutely squeezed. Did anybody else watch that? It was absolutely absurd. So we're going back to the well against a Pittsburgh team that, they don't strike out a ton, like a ton. 12th highest K rate against lefties on the season, 23.5%. But Blake Snell, going back home in this spot against this specific lineup, with Connor Joe expected to lead off, 27.4% K rate. That's what they did against Tyler Anderson of the Angels. Look at me. I did research and talked about things even when there weren't lines. I guess it's my job, so I should probably do that shit anyway. But Jack Sawinski maybe ends up in this lineup as well in the 7 or 9 hole. He's been striking out at over a 40% clip over the last month, 33.2% over the course of this season, and left on left, not his forte. I expect Brian Reynolds, Andrew McCutchen, those guys 20% and lower in the K rate department, but lots of other ways that this lineup can come out. I doubt. Well, Henry Davis should definitely be in this lineup, no doubt about it. The number 1 prospect for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and went double dong in LA for himself. Nothing like your first home run off of Shohei Ohtani. That would feel good. But what would feel better for us? Blake Snell going nuts. 9 Ks. I'm looking at laddering him up to 9 or 10, but I'm going 9 to be conservative so I don't get made fun of by all of you. Oh, you said 10 strikeouts. Oh, not like I care. I'm here to make you money. Hopefully you know that by now. Blake Snell, up to 9 Ks. That's what I'm looking at. But just a lean. Want to see the numbers. If you want to know what I end up doing here, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. I'll be happy to let you know. 2 more games to get to, but friends, just like Atlanta, I'm breaking the rules today. I have no rules. Where we're going, we don't need rules. I butchered that. But Oakland going up against San Francisco, the Battle of the Bay. Alex Cobb expected to be on the mound here, but not officially announced for San Francisco. But we know Ken Waldichuk is going to be the guy for Oakland. And I ask it every single program that he appears, how much wood could a Waldichuk chug? If a Waldichuk could chuck wood, probably none. He'd just run into it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And that feels right because Marshawn Lynch, he's a Bay guy. He loves his Oakland. He loves stuff like that, but they're going to get absolutely punished here, and then they're going to Vegas, so I don't know, is he going to be a Vegas fan then? Kind of wild. Run a mother trucker's face off. I love Marshawn Lynch more than anything. Don't we all? We need to protect him at all costs. Did you guys see that video of him getting on the bus the other day? I love him so much. Anyway, call Ken Waldichuk. I don't. You know that by now. 350 xWOBA, 442 expected slugging, 12.9% walk rate, and a 20.5% K rate. I would rather have Marshawn Lynch up there pitching. He'd probably just walk a lot of guys because it's really hard to find the zone. And I don't know, did he throw a football? Probably played catch in the backyard. Probably better than what you're running into for lefty Ken Waldichuk. Also, San Francisco, the Austin Slater iteration of this lineup. You get J.D. Davis batting up at the top of this thing, and Wilmer Flores, wake me up inside. There's another one for you. 13 homers now in the season, batting nearly 300. Came off of a pretty good stint in Cincinnati where he hit 4 home runs over that 4-game series. Hit another one against Detroit in that pickup game that they had. Now they're in Oakland. Well, actually, they're back in San Francisco. They're back home facing Oakland. Good spot for them. And then Alex Cobb being the expected starter here. If it's Alex Cobb and we're getting anything inside of minus 165, this is an absolute lock. Now, this is not as bullish as the Atlanta one, but this is a definite lock central for me. I'm very curious to see where this line ends up opening up. I expect this might end up being a run line play too. Again, this could be minus 200 really quickly too. I would like, in a perfect world, I want this to be inside of that, but probably going to end up being a run line or a money line or something line that I want to jam with Alex Cobb on the mound here over the course of this season. Really good stuff, just unlucky. And then a 45.2% hard hit percentage, but a 1.5 degree average launch angle and a really high ground ball rate in a great pitching ballpark. San Francisco money line or run line, depending on where the books end up dropping this thing. Gonna need confirmation on Alex Cobb, but I wanted to lock it for you because I cannot wait to bet against this Oakland team as they get closer to the deadline where they might part with a piece or two. It's gonna get ugly there in Oakland. It's already ugly there in Oakland. That's all. And the last game of the night, pretty quick freebie for us here. We got the Dodgers hosting Toronto for another round of goodness. Chris Bassett on the mound against Julio Urias. And I do not ever cite home road splits. But I think with Julio Urias, we kind of have to. I don't know what's in the water in Los Angeles. Because again, Dodger Stadium can play up for power. And it's not exactly the easiest ballpark to pitch in. It's not like some of these other spots that you get where, you know, it's not 90 degrees every freaking day and you're playing on the crater of the sun out in Dodger Stadium. And Urias, north of a 5 ERA, 1.17 whip. But what am I getting at with these splits? Check this out. For away games this season, 8 starts for Julio Urias, 37 2/3 innings, 1.62 whip, 307 batting average against, and a 7.89 ERA. That exact same 37.2/3 innings at home, 0.72 whip, 178 batting average, and a 2.15 ERA. That is just drastically different. Maybe he's got a therapeutic bet. Maybe it's one of those, you press the button and it helps your back up and you do the thing, you know. Oh, you wake up feeling refreshed. I think that's got to be what it is. Anyway, Chris Bassett doesn't believe in advanced analytics, so therefore I hate him. 325 xWOB, a 250 expected batting average, just a 21.8% K rate. And yeah, these Dodgers, they hit baseballs very, very hard against everybody. A 117 WRC plus. Yes, it's sad JD Martinez is out. Guess what? I don't care. Moneyline, Los Angeles, looking to combine this with San Francisco. I repeat, if you parlay people want to do it, Los Angeles minus 155 with whatever egregious number we get from San Francisco that feels like a freebie for tomorrow. Put them together, put on a sweater, and enjoy your day. Actually, don't if you have a lot of heat and humidity. Drink water. Don't wear a sweater. Just sun's out, guns out. Tank top season. All right, see you tomorrow. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on this crazy long, crazy big Tuesday slate we have before us. Every team in play. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have my card updated in the premium Discord like I always do every single Sunday through Friday. You can ask anybody. You know what? Sometimes I'm going to have a bad week like I had last week. We finished it strong on Friday, but I'm always there posting, always there hanging out, walking through my process, helping anybody who has questions out with anything they might ask. You can get that for 2 months completely free just by checking out BetMGM. And hey, if you don't like it, just delete Discord, move on with your life. I'll give you the nah way. Actually, no, I won't. You're probably a nice, orderly person. Thank you for checking out BetMGM. Thank you for checking out the Discord. And then get your $1,000 up in bet credits, Imperial credits. Only for 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you to producer Jacob yet again. Friends, we'll be back on Wednesday for another 15 gamer. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.